Let's get it started. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Thank you for being here. It's good to be with you again after a week off that was spent in Sugarland, Texas, or as Beth and I were calling it, Sugarland, Texas, just to upset the locals. If you're ever in Sugarland, Texas, and you want to upset the people around you, call it Houston. Say, hey, it's good to be here in Houston. And they will say, I'm sorry, you're in Sugarland. This is anecdotal. I've never actually had anybody correct me, but there you go. So, welcome. Happy Thursday. Hello, Missy. Hello, Bev. Thank you both for being here. Let me know about sound and video and everything like that. Hello, ODST Diver Leader. Might have done another name change. I still have, MechOps. Okay. Yeah, welcome. Thank you for being here. Hopefully it'll be an improved stream tonight in terms of technology. I am trying to stop using Spotify for everything because I found out they donated a lot of money to the presidential inauguration. So anybody on that list, I'm trying not to use their products anymore, including Spotify, which sucks because we pay for like a family plan, which means we're trying to figure out different ways to find music and listen to audiobooks and stuff. So I've downloaded, if you go to Stream Tunes, hello, Brian, how are you? If you go to Stream Tunes, STREEM Tunes, you can stream from there. It'll give you options to stream from YouTube or any other location, or the option to download it all. So I downloaded it. So I'm playing it local, so hopefully it won't impact too much on the stream itself. So yeah, thanks for everybody for being here. I thought we'd go over, this is interesting because I've got the little counter of who's up, who's in right now, and it says 0 people. So I don't know if this is actually working well or not. Today's stream is going to be a bit of a recap of Brick Rodeo 2025 that was in Sugarland, Texas, which is, for those not in Texas, it's adjacent to Houston. And I thought I'd go over some of the swag and some of the workshops I did, and kind of talk to you about a couple things that we did while we are there, and that kind of stuff. So, and then if there's time, I also got a lot of sets that came in over the last couple of weeks that we could go through and do that. So primarily, I'd like to show you guys one of the workshops, and this was one that Bart, one of our lug members, Bart, handled, and then I think Brian did another follow-up as well. I don't know if you've done one or not, but the guy who normally would have run it was in the hospital. Our Houston version of the lug seems to have a lot of people want to go to the hospital. One of the organizers had to have his gallbladder removed like a week before the event. 2 years ago while in Houston, he had a heart attack, or he had heart problems. This time it was this other guy who had pancreatitis, just all kinds of stuff. We think that Sugarland is cursed, and I'm not going to talk too much about it, but we were able to fill in for where he was needed, and I hope he makes a full recovery, so to him and his family. Anyway, one of the things that I attended for the first time, really, I attended a motion workshop with some circuit cubes, and I'll show you guys those in a second, but also some lighting workshop with Light My Bricks. It is one of the companies that you can get lighting kits from. And I apologize, my cough hasn't completely gone away. And on top of it, it has bruised my rib. So every time I cough, I get a sharp pain in my rib, which may or may not take my breath away for a second. So super fun. And I'll catch you up on some other things going on. But yeah, let me know about sound and audio quality, video quality, and make sure everything's okay. So we got these starter packs from Light My Bricks. They are actually very good and very accessible. This was the set that we walked through to get it all done. I don't think, yeah, I packed it all somewhere else. I'm trying to remember where I put all the kit pieces for it. So this is mostly what we got. I know there's more. I just don't know. I'll look for it here in a second. But it basically comes with a battery pack, which is this one is 3 AA's. I don't know how long it lasts. I haven't maxed it out. The only thing that I'm curious about is it looks like it comes with a screw right in here, but it didn't come with a screw in the kit. So anyway, it comes with so this is a regular USB-A adapter. It comes with another adapter that I'm not really sure what. Maybe I put everything back in here. I think that's what I did. These are resealable bags. Yes, I put the rest of the pieces in there. So here's your battery USB-A adapter. It also comes with a hub. So the hub, for those not familiar, is just a place to put the wiring. And the wiring is this super flat. See if I can get one of these up here. They're super flat ribbed. They call them bands? Belts. They call these belts. Everything seems to have this weird space nomenclature. They have belts. They have one of the kits is like Astro plugs versus I forget what they were called. They have their names on them here. Yeah, Astro something, and then they have a bigger plug here that I'm not sure. Anyway, so basically they have a hub that connects to the power, and then they have all these other slots in the hub that connect to different belts. And the belts can be extension cables to another connection, or they can be lights themselves, right? So this would be one of the lights. So here's your connection. This is very small. That's one of your connections. And then this is the light that it attaches to. That's very small. That little yellow thing is just an LED. You plug the one end into here, and out comes light on this side. The bigger one takes another cable, an extension cable, and it plugs into either side of these, and then it plugs into the side, that end there, and this gets very quick, right? Part of what we were building, see if we can find it, was to replace the front of, so yeah, you can see that's right there, plugs into that. Replace the front lights on this car with the big one like that, so it lights up, but also the headlights. But I took them off because I wanted to light up my Horizon Zero Dawn machine. You can see what that looks like here. So they plug in fairly inobtrusively behind. Inobtrusively behind the studs. It won't focus really well because it's a light source. But that's just snapped in behind those two tiles. And it works pretty well. They have two colors usually. They have a warm and a cool. And I'm hoping that when I light all the other, this is kind of bright white, but it's got the light blue plate on it, so it looks kind of bluish. But they do have a cooler one or a blue one. The site is pretty user-friendly. They do have different components. They also have kits that you can buy specifically for different sets. So let's say you've got the tall neck, or you've got a Christmas village or something like that. They'll have specific kits made for those. And there's two ways to build with these. There's basically you build it as you go, so you get to like step whatever and you start integrating the lights, or you go back and you put the lights where you want it to go, and you may have to like remove a bunch of pieces. This one was pretty good because the eyes are relatively, unobstructed from other pieces, so I didn't have to wire a whole lot. Now, what I may want to do is wire it back so it comes out of the one side or whatever side I don't want to display. The other thing is, now I'm going to, it comes with these little pieces on top, right, that you can attach to this, and you can stick this hub on a piece somewhere. It also has cable management. We're gonna find the cable management piece. So like this was the same thing. It's got a little adapter that you put on the top. You don't have to have this. It should come off. Right? It just looks like that normally, but it's got this adapter that you can put on it. And then this will basically close over whatever wires you have. So let's say you wanted to put it on the underside of this car, right? And you close this over all the wires, and you can kind of cable manage them back to where. And then this thing would go under here too. You can snap that in place. So I know I'm probably retreading a lot of ground for lighting for people. Like I don't necessarily think I'm the first one to talk about light my brick, but I was very excited to get it. Very excited to adapt it to something that I already had. The kit that we got, you could buy the kit to go with the workshop at Brick Rodeo. And I think it was like 30 bucks. It may have been more, I can't remember, maybe 60. I know I spent 100 on total kit stuff, but one was 30 and one was 60. So it came with a couple lights, so I have a couple more lights if I wanted to do anything, and it came with a couple adapting pieces for the bigger lights, for the mega lights or whatever these are called. I think these are called Meteor. So Meteor and Meteor and Astro. So Astro lights and Meteor lights. Why they call them that, I have no idea. So anyway, this was a lot of fun. And again, given that I would really like to light up all my Horizon machines, but given that each of them probably has a minimum of 2 lights on their head, maybe just one. It's going to take a while because this was just the starter pack, the introductory pack. So it came with a lot of stuff. They're sold out right now on their site for the starter pack. So you'd have to buy each thing individually. I don't think I would be buying a lot of the Meteor stuff. Just because I don't have anything that I'd like to do a big band of, but those would be good for inside of buildings. Like if you wanted to light a room, right? If you wanted to have like a lamp that was just a lamp on a table, these little ones would probably be better. But if you just wanted to, have like a string of rooms together, and you wanted them all lit up, and put 2 or 3 of these on there, and it'd just be just fine. The hub holds 1 Meteor, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Astros. So one of the big ones and one of the small ones, because then you have to be able to plug the power into it. So this has to be powered. So it takes up one of those plugs. But yeah, it's a great great system. The other thing that I got with this that I bought later, and I'm going to unplug this one and plug these 2 into it. So I'm going to take these guys out, and these just kind of go into the little slots. They were a little finicky. So what Bart was talking about with this was, if you're used to building Lego where it's very click, sturdy, the clutch power's there, and you're used to kind of the uniformity and stability, this isn't it. Working with lights is fiddly, especially these little bitty connections. And they make these little bitty connections so they can run between bricks. So you don't have to drill or solder or sand or sand or otherwise nick one of your bricks to be able to run cable through it. These work very well. So they will happily sit under between 2 plates. It won't be a perfect fit after that. It'll raise up a little bit, but for the most part, it's really good. The other thing that I bought, let's see if I can get these in here okay. You can use tweezers help you with this. And the kit that I bought came with these fun plastic tweezers, and these do help. Because sometimes I feel like my giant hands just aren't up to the task of getting these little filaments in here. But they should fit pretty snugly. So they also make these lightsaber kits. And the reason I'm worried about setting these up all the time is because having worked in, and I made this comment during the workshop, but having worked in IT, so those light up too. Having cables that are very, very thin, they're thinner than like Christmas wrapping paper ribbon. And I'm used to working with cables that you're not supposed to crimp or bend or crinkle or anything, fiber optics, anything like that. So these are probably pretty forgiving, but I don't want to push it, you know. So these kits are like, I think they're $8 and you get 2 lightsabers. So far, the only ones that they had were blue, but I think they also have red or white. I'm trying to remember. Maybe just white. So anyway, again, you can hide this brick behind it. You know, you can hide the hub underneath it, behind it. Somebody was actually using these in one of the very, very good displays there. It was Mustafar, the big sensor set piece in the movie with the big, like, 3 or 4 big kind of prawns or prongs or pontoons or something that were kind of dragging in the lava that Anakin and Obi-Wan were fighting over. And I think he had blue lightsabers instead of green, which was kind of like, oh, they should be green, but it still worked really good. So if you want to light up some lightsabers, that's pretty cool, right? And they're very unobstructive. You can easily hide, you know, the cables aren't that bad. You can hide them behind their feet or something like that. But you have to keep them close to this hub. The cables aren't too long. So wherever they're standing, just make sure that's under there. Death Stranding 2 is a masterpiece. That's what I hear. I hear nothing but good things. That is, when I get paid, that is my next purchase. Right, so lighting is done. Lighting was, I won't say the high point. So the convention overall was great. Beth went with me. And we had a fantastic time. In fact, hey, Beth. Be right back. Can I show him your monkey? So yeah, I got Beth to go with me this time, and she actually had a very good time. And she kept saying throughout the whole, Zisoo, hello, how are you? She kept saying through the whole event, I'm having a lot more fun than I thought I was going to. And given that half the time she thinks most of the stuff is pretty nerdy, and that it's just chock full of drama that she doesn't want to be a part of, she had a really good time. I'll tell you why she had a good time in just a second. This is the beer I'm drinking tonight. It's a dark lager from Fiesta. This is from Independence Brewing here in Austin, Texas. A lot to talk about in Austin. I know we just had our floods in Central Texas, out near Kerrville, into like San Angelo, into Kerrville, the whole San Gabriel River, or the Guadalupe River. It was real bad. We were in Houston for most of it. It did rain while we were out there, but nothing like this. And so we kept remotely seeing the news in sort of a bubble. Like, it was really kind of hard to watch. So that's what we came back to, is a lot of that. In fact, the burger chain here in Texas, P. Terry's, did 100% of their profits all day today went to Kirby Lane too. Also, their profits went to flood recovery programs. And I went to P. Terry's for lunch. It was like a 45-minute wait. There was so many people, which which was awesome. I'm so glad. So most conventions will get you a con mock. This was the con mock. I haven't built it. I don't know if I'm going to build it. I still have a couple con mocks from the previous couple years that I haven't put together. I thought I'd keep them in case we need stuff to auction. I'll tell you about the auctions in a minute. Yes, we are nerdy. But yeah, so this is usually the con mock is designed by somebody. I'm trying to see if this will say who it's designed by. The instructions are usually online, so we can go see who this was designed by. But I'm guessing it was somebody in Jeff Schroeder. It's right there in the front of the box. It's a little postcard set for Houston. It's got the Astrodome. It's got a shuttle on it for Johnson Space Center. It's got 4th of July stuff on it, fireworks and whatnot. So most cons will do this. They will give you some kind of set. I feel like Brick Rodeo is starting to become a very good convention for swag. And I've heard some people go to other conventions where they don't get this level of swag. And I know it costs and I know it breaks the bank sometimes, but I feel like it's worth it. This is fantastic. I think they did a really good job of this. And it's a nice piece that you can kind of build and put up on your desk. It's not too crazy. Last year's was the gold belt buckle. I think I still have that. If not, I can go grab it. And then the year before was Bart's taco that you can make into different things. So you get the swag. You get this as part of your swag. You get a tote bag too, which I don't have because we used it for something else. You don't get the lighting kit or the motor kit, but you do get a bag of cool parts. Most of these are out of focus. Cool. Yeah, it says Jeff Schroeder. So you get a bag full of these, which are just labeled cool parts. And then one of the very first things that is available on the schedule is a cool part swap. And I always forget to do this. Every time I see that, I'm like, nah, that's fine. It's just called part swap. And swap meet. And I keep thinking it's where people are going to show up and try to sell stuff. But that's kind of against the rules. The idea is to show up and find people with other bags of parts and find parts that you like. So like, for instance, these stands. If you don't need these stands for anything. Or, these are great, but I don't need 200 or 100 or however many's in here of, dark orange something. So there's a lot in here. Our keynote speaker was Paul Hetherington. And so there's a kit where if you went to his talk, there was a build that he had, and these are all the pieces for it. All these instructions are on the website, and the rest of these are just cool parts. The Greebling workshop, Rebecca, I forget her last name, did a Greebling workshop. Part of the fun of going with Beth was that I had to explain it was both. You could do both. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd never been to one, so it's like I wasn't sure if it was okay to go and try to sell things, but that's cool. I think George was probably there trying to sell chains and shirts and things. This was a cool thing too, the Infinity Fidget Cube. One of those, not Jacob's Ladder, but Infinity Cube things you could build. So that was fun. Part of the fun was introducing Beth to all the cool lingo that we use. Explaining all the acronyms that we use. And her not believing me when I say that it's an actual thing. I think the hardest one for her to believe was Ship-Timber. I was like, you build a big spaceship. She's like, that's why they call it Ship-Timber. I'm like, well, they use that word. So that's, a seriously huge investment in parts. So Beth and I participated, or we went to they have two auctions at the event. One is a silent auction, and one is a charity auction. Both of them technically are for charity. But one is a silent auction, one is just an auction. This year, I think between the silent auction and the charity auction, we raised $35,000, 30,000, something like that. We bid on the silent auction. We bid a handful of things at the silent auction, and we didn't think we were going to win. So then after the actual auction, we got at the back of the line because they're like, you can still, if you didn't win anything, you can still donate if you want to Texas Children's Hospital. But it turns out we had one, and we won this set by Lewis, and I'm going to get his last name wrong, Saladrigus. He was a Lego Masters contestant and winner of this year's fan favorite for Best in Show, maybe. He built this enormous, like had to have been 5 feet 10 inches, if not 6 feet tall, castle cliff face thing with a big path going up it and like a battle at the top, right? It was wonderful. Anyway, this was a set that he had built, that he had designed, and we got him to sign it and wrote a little thing to Beth because she's the one who won it. And Beth put this together twice because the first time it fell apart and she lost a lot of pieces. And she's like, oh no, I've lost all these pieces. Do you have a 2x2 brown plate? I was like, oh, sweetheart, I have all the plates. So this was a lot of fun because she went back to the hotel that night and built it, tagged him and took a picture, tagged him on Instagram. He messaged her and said, hey, I'll sign that tile for you. So we found him the next day and talked to him for a little bit. And he's someone that I had seen around a little at conventions, but he's from Florida. So I thought he was maybe with Dallas or something because I remember seeing his face enough that I thought he was part of one of the groups. And not having seen any seasons of Lego Masters before this one, this was a treat. This was really good. We also got, I think Beth got every season 5 person's autograph. They have little trading cards. The only ones she didn't get because they weren't there were Ben and Michael, a couple of the people who had been removed, who had been voted off already, Alex and Tony, Britton and I forget her name, Michelle? Britton and I forget the other lady. And then the first couple that went off. But yeah, all the rest were there. And it was kind of funny because there's a few of them that were like, oh yeah, that's what's his name? Like Tony. Anthony. I thought he went by Tony, but everyone's calling him Anthony. He's an HBC guy. Nikki, thank you. He's a Houston Brick Club guy, and he's been to conventions with us before. So she was like, and he built part of our big collaborative build this time. So I was like, yeah. She's like, could we talk to Anthony? I'm like, sure. And I was like, well, I don't know him that well, but whatever. And so when we were setting up, he's like, hey, Ben, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, he knows you. She was so cute with her fangirling over all the Lego Masters people. So you also get a shirt this year because it was 4th of July. There's hot dogs. Some of the, there was a mega print. There's a guy who 3D prints figures, and his site is Megafig. And he had done a version of this, a very tall, like 2-foot, 3-foot version of this that was actually auctioned off at the site, or auctioned off while there. So this was the shirt that everybody got. It was the hot dog figure. I also got a shirt from George, but I think it's being washed because it was one that I brought to the event. Don't care. You get a cup. Bricks and minifigs. Here's that chain I spoke of. You've seen this before, but George is printing a lot of these up. Agasami Brickworks. He had some multicolored ones, red, white, and blue ones, stuff like that. So you may have been able to run into one of those. Bunch of stickers. This stickers from Bricks and Minifigs and Brick Rodeo go on your water bottle. Of course, your lanyard and your badge. Got some minifigures, a pirate, maybe like a cosplayer lady, and a short Robin Hood character, and then some extra heads for diversity for all that. So there's your minifigures. Should go in your cool parts bag. And I think that's it. Pen. I don't know if the pen was part of. I'm hiding my voice in the bag, but I don't know if the pen's part of it or not. So yeah, pretty good swag pull down. Yes, the retractable brick separator. I didn't realize that we got this, and I think I lost mine already, but this is on Beth's keychain. So Bricks and Minifigs. Got your brick separator there, so that's pretty cool. The stress brick, which I know Beth has somewhere, it feels like a little eraser, but it's a brick about this big, and it's squishy, and they do stack. So if you got more, they would stack. Yeah, so this is what we got. I also purchased circuit cubes. Now, circuit cubes, if you're not too aware, are the new hotness in terms of motorized movement within Lego, right? The upside to circuit cubes is they are small, mighty, but also like easily able to be built into a set. And I'll show you here in a second. So went to a workshop where they were, was run by Jason Maggiotti. Boy, these jumper plates are garbage. And he does a lot of motion in his builds. And so this was the set that you get when you have to buy this. This doesn't come with the swag, but the circuit cubes are very accessible and easily built into a model. If you haven't seen these yet, I'll show you the basic ones that I got. That guy's really on there. So, like most things, you've got a motor, you've got a battery, and you've got a light. And the kit that you got also comes with a bunch of extra cables. It actually comes with a smaller but more linear motor. Right? This is the size of the motor. These have kind of limited connection points, but as you'll see in a second, they are about 2 bricks tall. They are 4x4 wide and deep, and you can turn them on by direct connection with these wires. They come with clip wires, or if they're just within magnetic connection of each other, they should work. So there's nothing there. Okay, Brian, take care. So yeah, your battery is a lithium-ion battery. It's got a recharge port. With a heavy load, they probably last an hour and a half. With a lighter load, maybe 2 hours. With a heavy load like Jason was using with his ducks, which I think won an award, he was getting maybe a half hour, 40 minutes. So they are small and easily customizable and work really well for small builds, but they don't power huge models. But you can also get a light. Same thing. Light will turn on. You can also stack them, and they should maybe it goes on this way. should work like this too, but that's not working. So this will change the direction if you stack it this way or stack it that way. I don't know why the light's not doing it. Yeah, the light does the same thing if you stack them. And they should stack on each other, so I don't know why this, maybe the polarity is weird on this one. Anyway, this was a great workshop. He talked about gearing a little bit, like there's 2 different size gears in here, and what you need to be able to do to get this built. And it was a good workshop. Had a lot of fun doing it. Kind of jumped the gun on a lot of the build part of it because somebody joked with me that it wasn't a speed build. Like, you don't need to go so fast, man. I'm like, why? I want to listen to him talk. And then, of course, I did my studio talk and the trivia, which was fun. The studio talk worked well, except for in the middle of it, the power at the hotel went out. What's up, Cliff? I'm just going over the swag that I got from Rodeo. The power went out at the hotel, and this would have been Friday at like 1 o'clock. Or no, Thursday at 1 o'clock. Very early on. It was raining, and we lost power. Did I put that other? Yeah. And then the Wi-Fi wasn't up the rest of the day, which was especially bad for someone who had to do trivia later that night and didn't have a network connection. So if you're ever in a space where you need to run a presentation of some kind, have a local copy. Don't rely on it. Don't rely on hotel Wi-Fi availability or any sort of network connection availability. Mostly because some of us were given access to the Wi-Fi there because we were running a workshop or a talk or something, or helping out in some fashion. But it wasn't widely available to the public, which was good unless it was out, like it was all of Thursday. But if you didn't have that, you couldn't use your cellular because cellular inside the hotel was terrible. In the main assembly room, assembly square, where a lot of the big events were, there was just no cell service, like none. And those who were trying to use hotspots instead of Wi-Fi were having a bit of a problem. So yeah, we met Beth got to meet all the Lego Masters that were there. Oh yeah, there's my. So you also get bricks. I didn't show you all the bricks that you get too. I think these are. I didn't take these off yet. So yeah, you get your bricks and minifigs. Bricks and minifigs was the big sponsor this year. They had a lot of vendor space. We also bought a Will Heron original sweatshirt. But yeah, bricks and minifigs was kind of everywhere this time. They had giant vendor space. There was also a big 4th of July party that everybody who had a all access pass or companion pass were able to go to. Get stickers for the event and from Bricks and Minifigs, and a special sticker that has a firework on it. You also get some bricks. The bricks were provided and printed by our friend Josh, friend of the channel Josh, his site UV Monster. He's printed a lot of stuff for our group. We were going to do a couple, some project support stuff with an idea that he had. So here's some more bricks, plates. So these you can attach to your brick badge if you want. Got these. Recognize a full networking event, Brick Rodeo. I have the middle one already. And then if you wanted to, we've got a UV Monster brick there. So, provided by our friends at. So it was a good time. Like I said, Beth got to meet all the folks that are Lego Masters that were there. We had a record 20 contestants at Brick Rodeo. So not only was it season 5 people, it was Louis Saladrigas. I'm butchering his name. Miss Crafty Brick. I forget her name. Like I said, I've never watched Lego Masters up until now. So there was a season 1 lady, a season 3 lady, Tim Howell, which Tim Howell's at all of ours because he's in the Houston Brick Club. And then Tim Hutchins, who was his partner in last season, in season 4. So they were there. Mel Brown was there. Iceberg Bricks, he was there. I don't think Beth got his card. I'm trying to think of who else. But yeah, there was and then most of season 5 people were there. So the only one that wasn't, Maya was there from Toronto, but her dad wasn't. So Ian and Sage were there. Justin and John were there. Tony and Joe were there. So all the Texas people were there. And then Maya was there. And I think that, the wedding DJ people. Hey, Beth. She can't hear me. Cody and I forget her name. Angela, maybe? Anyway, they were there too. And 201, and then Luke and his mom. And in fact, Beth was talked to in the bathroom by Luke's mom about getting into building. So she was really enthralled with the entire process. Like, she had a great time. Went back to the hotel and built something. Bought the 3-in-1 Anne and Luke. Anne, yeah. She talked to Anne in the bathroom. Conflicting stories about Anne, apparently. Really nice to Beth. I was talking to James, and James like, I had we butted heads about something like last year. Like, she wanted into the convention. He's like, well, you don't have a pass. And she's like, something. And he's like, okay, sorry, you don't have a ticket or a pass or whatever. Anyway. But they're all they're like you expect them to be. They're all very nice, very good brand ambassadors. So it was a good time. So Beth bought her own set of Lego. She bought the 3-in-1 Creator, the 3 dogs. She hasn't done anything yet, but she's very excited to start doing it. She wants to start doing brick therapy, which I know is already a thing. Like, I think Ohio has a place called Brick Therapy. They've registered it. She does buy a lot of loose brick and take them to her practice and use them for kids, clients, to have them open up a bit more. While they build, they are less likely to kind of close off, and building really opens things up. So between that and the idea that a lot of older OCD, anxiety, neurospicy people say they use bricks for therapy, sorting and building and stuff, how it's very mindful, but also mindless, right? It helps you relax. So she's going to start looking at that avenue of not study, but like, do some research on it. I was like, you do enough work with it. This time next year in Austin, you could have your own workshop. You could have your own talk about bricks as therapy, right? She thought that was very cool. Just had a blast. Like, we had a really good time. That said, it's 8:48. What's next for the channel? So now that Brick Rodeo is done, I'm probably going to be focusing on a few things. I have some sets that I can build, but also I want to make sure that I don't lose focus on some of the other things, like studio stuff. I do want to get back into working on Horizon Forbidden West machines. I think I've given them enough time off. I'm not as mad about that one set. Now that I have a lighting kit, I can maybe start building with the idea of getting them lit as well. Start ordering parts for those. And again, maybe bring some microfighters, maybe not as many, but we'll see next year how that works out. And Marcella and Krista. How could I forget? Marcella and Krista are now our new best friends. We hung out with them. We didn't hang out with them a lot, but every time we were in the exhibit hall, we were talking to them, and they were just the sweetest. If you can follow them on whatever their platforms are, I know Marcella specifically, she's watched some of my stuff before. Please make sure to give her a follow. She does Marcella builds and Marcella watches. She does a lot of watch alongs, and she also builds some stuff. So make sure to give her a follow if you can. The other thing that, the other thing Beth got really into, and I'm sorry this is blank right now, but Studio crapped out on me right before the stream, and so now it's trying to recover all of its builds. All the things that I had loaded, which were mosaics. Beth wants to get into doing mosaics, and I told her it's probably a pretty, like, you can just see this is loading all this up. It's a good way to introduce yourself into designing things. I have to be very careful because there's a model in here that I don't want anybody to see. I can close that one. I can close this one. So she wants to do, this is her her last dog, Allie. And Allie left us about 5 years ago, right as we got Kaylee. And so this was Beth's dog. This was her her big deal. And so I was like, well, you could do a mosaic of her. And her eyes lit up. She's like, I can. I was like, yeah, you remember the walls in the exhibit hall had a bunch of mosaics. You could do that. And I was like, and I'll show you how to use the software to do it. So she was looking up pictures of how to do all this stuff. So that's going to be something that she'll probably work on. And this is a very big one. This is like 48 plates by 48 plates, or 3 by 4 or something. It's fairly large. So you're getting pretty good resolution. I told her, I was like, the bigger you get, the better it looks. But keep in mind that it also requires you to buy more parts, and it requires stability and all this kind of stuff. So anywho, how is Aggie? Well, I'm going to show you how Aggie is. Aggie, short for Agatha. She had surgery the Monday we got back from Brick Rodeo. So I told Beth that we didn't really get the vacation experience because the very next day we were thrown into, your dog has a couple tumors that need to be removed. So about 2 years ago, she had surgery again. And on the other side of her, this is her side, this is her head and the cone of shame. This is her little rump over here, her little tail. She has a little tumor right there, a little thing, and then she had a big one back here. A mast cell is basically like a histamine cell, or a cell that is like a histamine growth, right? It's a follicle growth or something like that, that can spread and can, so we're waiting to hear back. The next couple of weeks are a little stressful because we're waiting to hear back. But this is the third time she's had to have something removed. So some dogs are more prone to this. This has been 2 years since we got, oh, you know what? This is lovely because now I can delete this song, Clouds Cry. I cannot wait to get rid of this song. I don't like this song at all. Bye. Now that I've downloaded it, don't want it. Cool. All right. So anyway, this one's not so bad because it's It's only about that big. She's also a very small dog. She's only, that big. 18 pounds. The problem is this one right back here is right next to her little pooper hole. And the concern is that because she doesn't poop really well, it just kind of collects under her tail. And we're worried that poop spreads. So we have to keep her butt clean all the time. So it's constantly, we're on butt poop alert for 2 weeks now, just to make sure that this wound stays clean. Also, she can't jump on anything because jumping will exacerbate the wound. And when you're a little dog, you have to jump everywhere. So there's another shot of that stitch right there. This is where like her little haunch muscle is and her leg muscle. So it's been very stressful. And here's a better picture of her being sad in her calm. She's doing better. We have to spray her butt every night, and her wound, just like with room temperature water, just to make sure it's flushed of debris. But she's on pain medicine. She's on antibiotics. I think she's gonna be fine. It's just gonna take a couple weeks. Keeping her from jumping is the hardest part because it could open that up, and we don't want that to happen. So, thank you for asking. I know that was a bit graphic, but this is what we've been going through. So, in terms of like what I want to do next, again, I've got a handful of sets here that I can build, but I do want to work on. I've got stuff in here that I don't want people to see. There are a lot of microfighters that I want to keep working on, and Horizon stuff that I want to keep working on. The advent calendar I want to keep going on. I kind of wanted to get that done this year, but of course I didn't, so maybe for next year. We'll see. Designs. I think everything got done that I've been working on. I know there's a handful that haven't. The Rock Breaker is one that I don't think I've officially finished, but it's pretty close. Like this neck area, I kind of want to get that finalized. But everything else looks pretty good. I might get the parts for this and work on it maybe physically and see how that works. But yeah, stuff like this. The Q2 Stadium, obviously, I want to keep working on that. I don't really have anything else I want to work on other than those things. So it's probably going to be a long slog of continuing to do Star Wars, continuing to do Horizon, and continuing to do Q2. If anybody would like to see anything specific in terms of like how studio works, just let me know. I'm always up for a little bit of like tutorial kind of things. It's always nice to do that. I also have, here's one thing that I kind of want to do more of. I never finished the A-Team van. I want to do all the Batmobiles. I think I have most of them done. So I would like to get them all finished and get a handful of Batmans, because I know one of the Batmobiles just came out. Animated series. So I only have 3, 1989 and animated series. So I'd like to do more of them. The animated, or the Batman Returns set was just announced. Is it Batman Returns or Batman Forever? This is the Val Kilmer one, right? So this is the new one that just was announced. Or was this George Clooney? I can't tell. I think it's George Clooney. Anyway, this is a cool one. So this is one I could work on. I have it on the list. I have all the Batmans on the list. We could basically do just like a simple charger for Pattinson. Do the tumbler for oh, I can't think of his name. The guy who did Dark Knight, right? And then a classic one for Adam West. We already have the Michael Keaton one. I can't think of any of the other ones that I really want to do, but I think those are the top ones, right? So yeah, so that's a good one to keep working on. And then, like, in general, just any new Star Wars thing that comes up. If there's a great channel that I just started watching on YouTube called Radio Free Coruscant, and they've been basically like top 5 smuggler ships, top 5 Corellian battle stuff, top 5 CIS something or other, right? I love channels like that give me a reminder of what ships to do and what's on the list. So yeah, more Star Wars stuff for sure. And I just keep powering through that list that I've got. Because a microfighter is usually good for 1 or 2 streams. This obviously took a little while longer, but I'd like to get back to it. So we got about an hour left, and I think I just kind of want to build for that hour. If nobody else minds, we'll do some building, and I think I would like to do this guy. So this was the gift with purchase recently, the Moon car. I had to order a $40 set to get enough points to get 2,500 insider points. And then you can't just order the set. You can't just get the reward after that. You have to order I had to order a set, wait for it to ship so I get the points. Then you have to go order another thing and then say I also got this that I want to get. So usually these insider ones I usually will keep, but I like this one, so I want to build it. This one also didn't detract too much from the original design. Somebody won a contest for this, and their design was similar. The color was different. It was a lighter blue. This is more of a Maersk blue. Their stand was different, and the figures were, I think, better. They had hair pieces and helmets, and I think they made these helmets a little smaller so that they could sit closer together. I'm not really sure, but this still is kind of looks like a fun set, so I thought we'd go ahead and break into it. I'm gonna try to do this with the box. I keep forgetting that this is an option, but I don't know that I'm very good at it. Yep, eBay is technically an option if I wanted this. I'm sure somebody else has it. But the reason I keep these, hang on real quick. The reason I keep these around is because at Brick Rodeo and sometimes Christmas parties with our lug, we have Dirty Brickster. Dirty Brickster is just like a white elephant event. But then at Brick Rodeo, there's Old Dirty Brickster. And that is finding sets that are older. In this case, they were older than 2010. So find a set that is older than 2010. And that's your white elephant gift. It's always like, bring something that you would like to get. So if you could get that from somebody, what would it be? So I like hanging on to these. that, and then you can close it again if you want without ruining the box, right? So if I decide I do want to get rid of this, I still have the box. You can't do that with the bags. You got to throw the bags away. But at least you can keep the box. And if you ever want to bag these up, you can. So we're not going to do this. I wonder if this is available. On Brickset yet. Let's find out. So we go to Brickset. Not Bricklink. I like getting my instructions from here. What set number is it? Moon car? Flying moon car. Teddy Young. Meet Teddy Young. I'm gonna get. Where's my window capture? Oh, you know what I just realized? Nobody called me out on this. Into it, nobody tells me about the ticker. Doesn't matter now because I'm changing it. Cool. Oh, and the chat's not showing up. Neat. It might if somebody chatted. Never opened a box like that before, huh? I haven't either. I've seen it done, but I forget about it, and then I was reminded of it at Brick Rodeo because you could use the box then to like build inside, like a little tray kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. All right. So I may be going back to OBS anyway because Prism is going to start charging subscriptions to run it, and none of the stuff that I have is on the prescription level. It may still work with a free level, but I kind of don't want to take that chance that at some point they go, oh yeah, and now you're gonna miss this. So Teddy Young is the Ideas Grand Prize winner. So this was done in 2024, so last year, exploring the cosmos. I don't think they're going to show the original, but you can use the interwebs to find the original. It's very similar to this. But yeah, turned it into an actual set. So these are basic space torsos. I don't think these are new, but I may be wrong. And these helmets are basically, they fit on the top of the head. So there's your space person. Yeah, I don't know why the chat's not working. Oh well. There's a couple things aren't working here, like the thing that says how many people are in here and how many people have thumbed up the video isn't working. The chat apparently isn't showing through. It's like it's having a hard time connecting to YouTube for some reason, but my stream health is excellent. So what else? It was announced, and now I can officially say this, that Brick Rodeo in 2026 here in Austin will be at the Kalahari Resort, which is literally like 8 minutes from my house. I'm so excited. It is a large resort that has a hotel and conference rooms and meeting rooms, and it has like 7 or 8 restaurants, and it has a giant arcade and a water park. It's